Most people misunderstand the T-34. They think it won the war because it was a brilliant tank. Sloped armor, wide tracks, a powerful gun, the perfect balance tank. That's the engineering fairy tale. The truth is far more brutal. The T-34 did not win because it was perfect. It won because it was possible. Let's strip away the romance. Early T-34s were crude. Poor optics, terrible radios, uncomfortable crew layout, rough transmissions, inconsistent manufacturing quality. Crews complained. Commanders adapted. Losses were enormous. And yet, the T-34 kept coming. This is the part most people miss. The T-34 was not designed to impress engineers. It was designed to survive factories. The Soviet Union was not fighting a clean war. It was fighting while retreating, evacuating, and rebuilding entire industries east of the Urals. Precision was a luxury. Speed was survival. The T-34 embraced ugliness. Welds were rough. Tolerances were loose. Parts were interchangeable enough. Not elegant, but buildable. German tanks were engineered to perform at their limits. The T-34 was engineered to function below them. That distinction matters. The T-34's sloped armor wasn't just clever physics, it was material efficiency. Less steel, same protection, faster production. Its diesel engine wasn't about sophistication, it was about fuel safety and logistics flexibility. Wide tracks weren't innovation for innovation's sake. They were a concession to mud, snow, and roads that barely existed. Every design choice screamed one thing: this must work everywhere, by anyone, under anything. The Germans met the T-34 and panicked, not because it was invincible, but because it invalidated their assumptions. German doctrine expected clear lines, reliable supply, controlled engagements. The T-34 brought chaos, numbers, and attrition. Germany responded the only way it knew how, with better tanks, Panthers, Tigers, heavier guns, thicker armor, and more complexity. The Soviets responded differently. They built more T-34s, thousands, then tens of thousands. Losses were horrifying, but replacement was constant. A destroyed T-34 was not a strategic setback, it was a statistical expectation. Factories learned, processes improved, production accelerated, even as quality slowly rose. This is the hidden genius of the T-34. It allowed learning at scale. Mistakes were absorbed by volume. Improvements propagated rapidly. German tanks evolved slowly. Each change required redesign, retooling, and retraining. The T-34 evolved brutally. Fix what breaks, ignore what doesn't matter, keep producing. By the later years of the war, the T-34 was no longer crude, it was adequate, and there were too many of them. The T-34 did not dominate tactically, it dominated temporally. It existed everywhere, all the time. German crews fought individual battles. Soviet crews fought a continuum. This is why the T-34 feels unstoppable in hindsight, not because it was invincible, but because it was unending. The T-34 teaches a lesson that militaries and industries still struggle to accept. Elegance does not scale under pressure. Perfection collapses under chaos. But sufficiency multiplied by endurance becomes overwhelming. The T-34 was not the best tank. It was the right tank for a country fighting for time. And time, once industrialized, becomes a weapon. That is the real story of the T-34. Not brilliance, not beauty, but ruthless alignment between design, factory, and survival. And in industrial war, that alignment is what kills empires.